I'm not sure what's going on with the thumbnail, but welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe. Welcome to these post-game edition of Believers Talk, where we break down the game from yesterday. Obviously, I look forward to talking to all of you guys in here. I don't think we're at halftime quite yet of the Monday Night Football game, but I thought I'd get on here now because we have a lot to discuss, guys, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the comment section as well. Lighten up, as the Buffalo Bills, of course, lose yesterday to the New England Patriots 16-10. The game we wanted to win. We really wanted to win this one. It's saying I'm live, so if someone's in here, let me know. I can't see myself, so I don't know if I'm live or not right now. But I hope I am, because it's saying I am. So again, let me know if you're in the room. Hey, Ronald Enix, I guess I am, because you guys are in here. How you doing? Welcome to Believers Talk. Glad that you are in here hanging out with me on this Monday night as we discuss the game last night. Again, lots to go over from this game, lots to talk about. Again, the Buffalo Bills lose first loss of the season. But as we talked about on Thursdays, everyone's talking about the world crashing down on the Bills and everything like that. We're 3-1. We won this quarter. Again, a lot of times you break a season up into quarters. Quarter one, the first 4 games is the first quarter. Second 4 games, second quarter, third, fourth, fourth. You get it, right? If we go 3-1 in each of those quarters, we finish 12-4. And we make the playoffs. So I don't know if there's an issue with going 12-4. I don't see an issue with going 12-4. A tough one to lose, okay? I'm not going to deny that. This was a tough way to lose a game, and I really wanted to win this one. But we're still 3-1. So that's kind of like the end of the day, big picture. Hey, John Roberts. Hey, Nomo. How you doing? Glad that I'm live with you guys. Hey, James Williams. Always good to have you on. Alan was trying to show off too much. What was it showing off? Was the offensive line? Was the combination? Was the play calling? We're going to get into that a little bit. And listen, guys, I've seen so many people criticizing Josh Allen. I've been one of them today. And, I've come to realize that maybe he doesn't deserve the criticism that we are giving him right now. Okay, Josh Allen did try to do a little bit too much yesterday with the ball. I will give you guys that. I'll give everyone that. He tried to do too much, but there's reason for optimism if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. If you're a Josh Allen fan, if you are a fan of this team, there's reason for optimism. Again, we bring the Patriots coming to our house. They think they're going to steamroll us, and they don't. And another thing, before we really get into anything, guys, so many people talking about the respect that Patriots fans are giving us. Who gives a damn about respect of Patriots fans? Come on now. It's about winning. So we didn't win. I still think we're ready for a great season. I think this game yesterday proves that. But what's respect among Patriots fans? Like, good for them. Woohoo! They respect our defense, guys. We've respected our defense for the past 2 seasons. We know what we have. Hell, we didn't let Tom Brady throw a touchdown pass on us on Monday night either last year. But all of a sudden they give us respect. Who cares? Who cares about their petty respect? You know what? We don't need their respect. We're gonna take a win when we go to Foxborough Week 16. That's what we're gonna take from them. I don't care about the respect. I don't care about moral victories. I'm not about that. I'm about winning, because winning's all that matters in this league. No one remembers how you lost to the Patriots, guys. Tom Brady is 31-3 against the Buffalo Bills all time. How do you win that second one? What was the score there? The third one, the fourth. You don't remember that, do you? No, you don't. You just remember the wins and the losses. That's all we remember. That's all people care about. And so in 10 years, guess what? No one's going to care about New England's respect. I'm going to care about us going into Foxborough and kicking their butt, though. And that's going to happen this year. I feel it. I think that this team's on the cusp of something great. Yeah, there is. Rallying says, yes, there is. I don't know what he's saying. Yes, there is too. Hey, Angry Buffalo sports fan, good to have you in here at work. Stop by to say hi. Hey, let's go Buffalo. Again, we're 3-1, so there's no reason to get down on this team quite yet. We are going to talk about some of the good and bad from yesterday's game. We're going to talk about Josh Allen, of course. We're going to talk about some of the coaching decisions. Again, the timeouts, obviously a huge factor yesterday. Clock management. Again, Coach McDermott taking something from one of his mentors, Andy Reid's playbook, and not having timeouts towards the end. Before we do that, however, guys, remember, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, guys, hit that subscribe button, as we're going to have you covered in 2019. If you watched yesterday on #Sports, Mario and Paul did a great job giving you play-by-play and reaction most of the time. They got a little drunk or whatever. They were having a little fun. Let's put it that way. They were having a little fun yesterday on the live streams. It was a good time. And I'm glad they had fun. Now, for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks really, I will be giving live play-by-play reaction. I will be doing a game during the Buffalo Bills bye week. I will be putting a poll on my Twitter page. In the description below is my Twitter page. Go on there. You'll be able to vote for the game you want me to do during the Buffalo Bills bye week. We'll make sure we get on here and give you live play-by-play and reaction. There are a few games on the slate that look pretty good. I'll be happy to bring you that coverage while the Buffalo Bills enjoy their bye week. But I'll have the Tennessee Titans game this coming Sunday. I'll have the bye week, and then I'll have the Dolphins game right here on YouTube. Also on Sportscaster. Some people notice the delay on YouTube between the game and when we're announcing. That does happen. Less of a delay over on Sportscaster. Go over there. They have the score up for you, what quarter it is on there as well. So you'll be interested to go see that. So again, link in the description below. Head out that way to watch as we live stream every single Buffalo Bills game for you this season. Again, hashtag sports, Believers Talk, giving you the best 2019 game by game, live play-by-play and reaction throughout every single game this season. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like this video, head over to Sportscaster, check us out there. Always going to be a good time. Let me get to some of these comments. Natasha Cupie, good defensive game, guys. You represent the AFC East well against the NFC East bums. We're going to win at least 3 out of those 4 games, right? We're going to beat the Giants. We already beat the Giants. We're going to beat the Redskins. And then we're going to split between the Eagles and the Cowboys. Maybe even take both. Who knows? I look forward to being at that game, that Eagles game, the last Sunday in October. And guys, we are going to let you know where I will be at. Maybe we'll have some meet and greets. Maybe we'll have some fun giveaways, things like that. You want to hit that subscribe button. We'll let you know where we're going to be for those days, and we can hang out. And then if you're going to the game, let me know. I'll let you know where I'm sitting, or I'll let you know where I'm hanging out pregame, and we can hang out at that time too. Always enjoy hanging out with you guys, the fans. I've actually run into some fans of the show here in Pennsylvania, so that's kind of cool too. Always cool to see fans recognize you on your YouTube channel, so that's kind of cool. So let's talk about this game. Let's break it down. Username: Zay is playing his way out. I meant there's reasons to be optimistic. Yeah, absolutely. There's absolutely reasons to be optimistic. But let's start with the negative. Let's start with a little bit of negative. Username, you brought this up, so let's start with him. Let's start with Zay Jones. Now, guys, if you have been a fan of the show for a while, you know that I've actually been a Zay Jones supporter. I've actually been a Zay Jones fan, and I have been until yesterday. If you watch Paul or Mario over at Hashtag, they talk about the hills they're willing to die on. And for a while, that was Zay Jones for me. I was willing to die on that hill. From East Carolina, played really well, always getting over 100 receptions. Played well at the end of last season. Had 6 touchdowns in the last 6 games or something like that. It was really good to see. Thought that him and Allen were getting that connection going, and I thought this year would be a good time to see that bloom into something more. But what have we seen? We've seen nothing out of Zay Jones. Zay Jones had 8 passes thrown his way yesterday. Had 2 catches for 3 yards. And that's not even why I'm upset with Zay Jones. That's not even why. Listen, you can get that worked out, okay? I understand you can get that worked out. Now, it's taking longer than we would like as Bills fans, and that kind of annoys us a little bit. But if you watch two of Josh Allen's interceptions last year, if Zay Jones just puts a little effort into those interceptions, then they might not be interceptions. I'm talking about the 2nd and 3rd interception for Josh Allen. If you look at that 2nd interception, Josh Allen throws a bomb into double coverage with Zay Jones. Not a well-advised throw, right? Not a smart throw. It's underthrown. And then I think it's, I forget who it is with the Patriots, who undercuts it, jumps up and catches it. And Zay Jones is just standing there. I was with some guys yesterday and we joked during the game, and we said, yeah, Zay Jones was ready. If it went straight through the dude's hands, Zay Jones was like, I'm going to get this. If whoever the defensive back was who intercepted it, if he doesn't touch the ball, I'm going to get it. And he doesn't even make a play to break up the interception. Take an offensive pass interference. Do what you have to do to break that play up. Doesn't do anything. It was pathetic, really, because he doesn't even try to tackle him once he has the ball in the air. He doesn't try to do anything. He just touches him when he's down, Doesn't try to break it up at all. Really disappointed in that one. And then Ron says, I live in PA too. Hey, we'll have to get together sometime, man. Zay is decent at getting open and run blocking. That's it. He is good at run blocking. But then the second interception, the one that shouldn't have counted, right? Everyone remembers that one, where Zay Jones is out of bounds, touching the ball, while McCourty is still trying to control it, which should have been out of bounds. The officials don't see it that way. They even review it, and New York even doesn't get it right. So it's a fluky play. I agree with Paul from over #sports. You still can't put those decisions in the referee's hands. You just don't throw that ball. So I still agree that that's on Josh Allen. But when McCourty's up in the air making that interception, all Zay Jones has to do is pull the jersey towards him, and then everyone's out of bounds. It doesn't matter, right? McCourty's up in the air making the interception before he comes down and bounce. Because remember, it was a close play and bounce, right? It was a close play. He tapped his second foot in, and he did a good job. But all Zay Jones has to do is pull his jersey while he's in there and force him out of bounds with Zay Jones. So the momentum's already carrying him that way. It's not like it would have been that hard to force him out. You're out of bounds, so there's no reason for you to go for the catch anyway. So that really disappointed me in Zay Jones. It's not the fact that he's not making catches. It's the fact that he seems to not be trying. He seems to have like the Kelvin Benjamin effect going on right now. Remember last year, or I'm sorry, 2 years ago, Kelvin Benjamin just seemed to stop running routes at times. It just seemed like he just stopped caring because he knew he wasn't getting the ball, or he knew that he didn't have a chance to catch the ball. And there's no room for that in Buffalo. Coach McDermott, he's putting a new mindset in these players to say, hey, no, we need to give 100% every single play. And Zay Jones isn't doing that. So again, we can talk about the catches. Why is Zay Jones getting the blame for bad throws? He's not getting the blame for bad throws. I agree they're bad throws. He's getting the blame for not showing any effort and trying to protect those throws from being interceptions. I'm not blaming him for the throws. They're still bad throws. I'm not saying anything about that. And we'll get to Josh Allen in a minute, I promise. But you can't tell me that he couldn't give a little effort. Like so if you're playing ball, you see the defender on you going for an interception, you're not going to try to stop him. Like that's what he's getting blamed for. He's also getting blamed for having 2 catches on eight attempts. Like that's what he's getting blamed for. When he's getting open, he's getting overthrown. I get that, but he's only been overthrown 4 times this season so far. It's not like every single pass is overthrown. Has some drops, and again, one of those drops, I don't know if I agree with either. When oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. Timothy says 100% right. Yeah. But yeah, when our backup quarterback comes in and throws those low passes, all 3 of them, the first one was to John Brown, second one was to Zay Jones, third one was to Cole Beasley. I don't blame them for that either. Those passes need to be up a little bit higher. Yes, they got 2 hands on them. Yes, they could. Matt Barkley, I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. Yes, they could have got they could have the catch, but those are tough catches to make. And sure, you'd be helping out your backup quarterback, probably. But at the same time, John Brown and Cole Beasley didn't make any catches either. They didn't help anybody out. So if we're gonna blame them for those, then blame Zay. I don't know. But still, there's so much going on that Zay needs to do better. He's a good run blocker, okay, but we need more, right? We could find a good wide receiver who's a good run blocker and can get open and can catch balls and can be a red zone threat. That's another thing. Why is when Matt Barkley throws the ball into the end zone, he's coming back for the ball and he's getting out of the end zone. So he catches that ball, we still don't get a touchdown. Now he tips it up in the air, it's incomplete, I get it, but like if he catches that ball, he's going down pretty much immediately. He's not getting in the end zone, and the Bills still do not score. I understand the idea of coming back for the ball, but you also have to know situational football. You also have to know that, hey, we need to get in the end zone on this one. We don't have time to really come back for the ball and not catching it before the goal line. So those are just a couple things that I just don't like about Zay Jones. And guys, again, I've been a supporter of Zay Jones since he came out of Eastern Carolina. I like him. When he kicked the wall and said he's fighting for Jesus, I supported him and said, hey, this is a tough start to your career, but I think you can turn it around. I'm glad to see off the field he has turned it around. He does look like he's doing better, but still, he needs to be able to show some effort, even when he's not involved in the play 100%. He needs to show that effort and prove that he is worth being an NFL wide receiver. We can find wide receivers who do what he does and do it better. That's all I'm saying. And again, End of last year, 6 touchdowns in 6 games. Maybe he can prove us all wrong and show that production again, but he's going to have to. He's going to have to at some point, or else there's really no point keeping him on this team. We could have kept Robert Foster on this team and get rid of him, and I think we would be just fine. He almost seems like he's not that into football this year. Maybe this isn't the way he thought it would be. Maybe this isn't what the gig he wanted. Maybe he's not happy with the percent of balls thrown his way he's getting now that Beasley and Brown are there. But let's be honest, when he was the number one, he wasn't doing so well. So why would we continue to go downhill with him when we could try to get better? And that's all this team's trying to do is get better. And if we're trying to get better and Zay Jones is catching it, so far this season, I think he's at like 35% catch rate. That's not going to get it done. He's below 50% for his career so far. So that's what we're blaming Zay Jones for. And again, he needs to just show more effort. That's all I'm saying. So that's my issue with Zay Jones. Like I said, that hill that one time I was willing to die on for Zay Jones, beginning to get off that hill. And hopefully see some improvement from some of these other guys. Maybe Duke Williams. Ooh, I said it. Maybe Duke Williams. But we'll see what the Buffalo Bills decide to do with Zay Jones. If they stick with Zay Jones, then I'm going to stick with Zay Jones. I trust the coaching staff here. Still, even with the bad decisions they made yesterday, I trust with the coaching staff decisions as far as roster moves. And hopefully it will continue to improve for Zay Jones. Moving on to the next thing. And like I said, this was the first on my list, but I saw Zay Jones was getting brought up. So I went with him first. But we got to talk about Josh Allen. So many people today, including myself, guys, including myself this morning, we're talking about how we need to consider getting rid of Josh Allen. Not getting rid of him, it's consider thinking that he's not the answer for the Buffalo Bills, right? Maybe he's not that number one quarterback that everyone's hoping he would be, the franchise that everyone's hoping that he would be. We need to start thinking about that. And guys, I'm not saying we don't need to start thinking about that. I mean, let's be honest. He has more interceptions at this point in his career than touchdowns, okay? And that's a real thing. No matter what we say from here on forward, we have to keep monitoring that. That's all I'm saying. We have to monitor his production. But before this game, all anyone was talking about was the improvement of Josh Allen, right? Before this game, 3 straight games over 60% completion percentage. He only had 2 games last year where he did that. And again, we're 5-0 when he completes more than 60% of his passes. So that goes to show you what he can do, right? And as long as we continue to see improvement, as long as we continue to see signs of his potential, of what he can be, then he's worth keeping. It's worth sticking around for the price tag for the next 4 to 5 years that we have him for. Keep him around because he could be something special. That's what his potential says about maybe saying Beasley and Brown hurt his ego. Talking about Zay Jones, maybe. But you definitely see Allen has that potential, and we saw it yesterday, right? Everyone's talking about the 3 interceptions. No one's talking about this stretch that I'm about to talk about here of game where Josh Allen, against ranked, stats-wise, the number 1 pass defense, did his thing against them. And I'm talking about from about the 4.5-minute mark in the second quarter to when we scored the touchdown in the third quarter with about 10.5 minutes to go or so. Let's go to those stats right there. That's 3 drives. 3 drives for Josh Allen, where he puts us in a position to score. Now, we miss a field goal at the end of the half, and supposedly a lot of that's due to the sack on Allen that he takes. But I'll talk about that play too. In a second here. But in that stretch, Josh Allen goes 9 for 11 for 106 yards. He runs the ball 3 times for 27 yards and a touchdown against statistically the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. 9 for 11 for over 100 yards. That's, a QBR, that might not be a perfect QBR, but it's over 100 QBR at that point. And then 3 rushes, 27 yards, and a touchdown. So for 3 drives, he was doing his thing against the number 1 pass defense. Now, for those 3 drives that he did good, he had 7 that he didn't. So I'm not excusing those, but I'm just saying there's a little sign here that, hey, this guy can be something special if we allow it to happen. And now, what did it take for that to happen? If you watched hashtag Sports yesterday doing their play-by-play coverage, you listened to Mario and he talked about Dable and his halftime adjustments and how coming out of the half, there's a set number of plays that you know exactly where you're throwing that ball to every single time. And so that's what Josh Allen did. And as long as he did that, he looked pretty good. On that drive, he went 6 for 6 for I think 69 yards. Okay, so he did really good on that drive, moving the sticks well at a good clip too. I think the drive only took us about 4.5 minutes before we scored our touchdown. Not bad at all from Josh Allen. Again, 3 drives, 9 for 11, 106 yards, 3 rushes, 27 yards, and a touchdown. Got 10 points out of those 3 drives. Should have been 13. I'm sorry. I know everyone's going to talk about that sack, and I will too in a second here. But you still have to make a 49-yard field goal. Steven Hauschka, we're used to seeing you make those kicks. Unfortunately, you just let drift off there at the end. I'm not sure if that would happen normally. 9 times out of 10, you might make that kick, but it's just a crucial time to miss that kick at that point in the game. Piano Wiz, welcome. Great game yesterday. Yes, I wish Singleton could have made it. He's explosive. Yeah, that also could change the game as well. But for every injury we had, New England had some injuries too, so we're not going to compare those to see who had it worse. Jason, I'm all in on Allen. He will learn to limit picks. It will take a while. Whenever Allen looks bad, the line also looks really bad. And the line hasn't looked great at all times this season as well. But let's talk about that sack that he took on that 3rd down right before the end of the half that led to that long field goal. About a 7-yard loss, I believe it was, on the play. If you watch that play, he has plenty of time. So you have to blame Josh Allen for that. That's definitely a coverage sack that he needs to be able to roll the pocket and throw the ball away. But at the time of the sack, he is still in the pocket. Okay, so he's still in the pocket. If he throws it away and he throws out of bounds, that's intentional grounding. We're out of field goal range at that point. And if he throws it into double coverage, guess what's going to happen? Probably again another interception. We're all mocking him for having 4 interceptions in the game instead of 3. So he gave us the best chance to get points on that drive. Again, I thought the offensive line did good, holding up, maintaining the pocket. Maybe at that point he needs to make a quick decision. Hey, no one's open around the pocket, throw it away. And another thing, I don't think we have any timeouts at that time, so it's not like he can run up the middle. We might have had one. We might have set it up with the kick. Tricky Finch comes in. Welcome, Tricky. Again, thank you guys for joining me on Billievers Talk. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. We will be doing live play-by-play and reaction to this Sunday's game against the Titans. May have watched Mario and Paul from hashtag yesterday. Hang out with me this Sunday, and also we'll be doing the Sunday after the bye week when we go up against the Miami Dolphins as well. So hang out with me for those 2 games. Again, we're going to constantly give you the best 2019 play-by-play and reaction coverage for the Buffalo Bills right here on YouTube and also over on Sportscaster. So check us out at both places. Missed field goal changes the entire game. Well, you figure the missed field goal, if we still score that touchdown at the beginning of the half, it's 13-13, right? Completely different mindset at that point in a tie game compared to down by 3 at any point, and then eventually down by 6. Obviously, if they score that field goal, it's still 16-13. Obviously, if he makes that field goal, the entire game, the play calling, everything changes, right? So we're not sure what would happen, but we know that it might have been a closer game at that point. Maybe still get that touchdown to begin the second half, make it 13-13. Everything changes at that point. It was a 49-yarder, so I'm not going to sit here and dwell on Hauschka right now. Second miss of the season, but the first one was a 62-yarder, I believe it was. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we need a new kicker. A lot of people were talking about McLaughlin during preseason doing just as well as Hauschka was. We signed Hauschka to the extension for $2 million, I believe it was. $3 million, maybe something like that. So we know that we have Hauschka now. Has looked decent. He hasn't looked bad yet. He misses that one kick yesterday. Maybe feels like he should have made it. But you have to also remember, Collins does a great job at leaping over the right tackle, or the right guard, I believe it is, to get in there pretty quickly. So you have to imagine that Hauschka saw this, and he pushes his kick a little bit more to avoid it from getting blocked. But Collins does a great job from a standing position. At first, I thought it was a penalty to leap over an opponent, but it's only a penalty to leap if you get a running head start. And here's the crazy thing about Collins. You watch that play, there was no running head start. He leaps over the guy without touching him from a standstill position. Now, I'm not sure from the replay angles if the right guard is getting held down by the other New England Patriots special teamer. It looks like he might be, which could have been a penalty. But you still have to give Collins credit for that athletic ability from a standing position to just jump over, and definitely probably affects that kick, right? And if he blocks that, does he return it for a touchdown? They already gave up one special teams touchdown yesterday, one too many, one that cost us the game. But you have to wonder if he blocks that. Is there anyone going to catch him? Because he already has a running head start towards his own end zone. So young QBs will make mistakes. It's just he seems to keep making the same ones. You're absolutely right. And if you watch Coach McDermott's press conference today, he said he wasn't mad about their turnovers, but is concerning. And the reason why you have to start being concerned about it is because they seem to be the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. Some people make comparisons to Brett Favre. Well, let's be honest, Brett Favre also threw for more yards in his first season as well in the NFL. So did he throw picks a lot in his whole career? Absolutely. But let's not go comparing Josh Allen to Brett Favre, and there's no saying how Brett Favre would have done in today's NFL. Completely different game back in the mid 90s, right? Completely different game. In fact, we saw him decline, one because of age, and two because maybe worse teams when he was with the Minnesota Vikings, when he was with the New York, New Jersey Jets. You see him decline. Again, multiple factors, right? But one of those factors might have been the rule changes in the league that makes it a little bit easier, I guess you would say, for quarterbacks to do well. He still wasn't doing well. So, different league today than it was when he was doing it. And you have to take that all into consideration. But again, that's something this coaching staff is constantly doing. So I trust they're constantly evaluating Josh Allen. Hopefully he's ready to go for the Titans game. I like Matt Barkley, but I don't know how many games we can win with Matt Barkley under center. Possibly we could beat the Titans, but hopefully by the bye week, Josh Allen comes back. Maybe they hold him out for precautionary measures, knowing that we have a bye week. But I think we really need to get off the ground running in this game against the Tennessee Titans. Really want to get a win, even though it's in Tennessee. I know it's not going to be the easiest place to play, easiest place to win, but we really want to get this win and move to 4-1 on the season, and going to, after our bye week, looking pretty good with a favorable schedule coming out of the bye when you go Miami, Philly, Washington, Miami, I believe it is. So pretty favorable there. But again, we do need to be cautious about Josh Allen, but he has shown signs that he can be the quarterback that leads us into the future, that makes this team a winner. We've seen signs. Now, again, how long do we give him? Maybe we give him another year. Again, he hasn't even started 16 games yet, guys. He hasn't even started 16 games. This week against Tennessee, if he plays, will be his 16th start. So at that point, we need to evaluate our quarterback maybe a little bit differently. But we need to at least give him that 1 year start. I mean, hey, we gave EJ Manuel, we gave Tyrod Taylor, we gave them 2-3 years to try to make a name, make a case for them to be a starting quarterback. Neither of them made themselves a favorite to win the job. That's why we moved on from them. We need to do Josh Allen the same favor and give him another year or two before we really start saying, hey, this is who he is. Are we okay with that or are we not? So that's the second thing. Barkley plays, we don't win. Well, some people have said about the game against the Jets last year, and we blew out the Jets last year. I think it comes down to game planning with Matt Barkley that matters. We saw that play yesterday. The first play when he comes in the game, John Brown, that fade pass, just a beautiful pass to John Brown over Gilmore, who's probably one of the better cornerbacks in the league, and it was a great play. We just need more of that on a consistent basis from Matt Barkley for maybe a game, just one game, just get that win, and then we can move on after the bye week, hopefully with Josh Allen back, and see how well he does. Only way we win with Barkley, the O-line has to play very, very, very well. But hey, another great thing about yesterday, which we'll talk about, is that running attack, right? The running attack did pretty good yesterday against the Patriots D again. One of the best Patriots defenses we've ever seen, and our running game, Frank Gore, old man Gore, gets over 100 rushing yards. So, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the good stuff. But I need to talk about the last thing that I have on my quote-unquote bad from this game, and it has to be a lot of the coaching decisions, whether they talk about clock management or some other decisions we'll talk about, that were made during this game. It seems like the biggest game in Coach McDermott's young coaching career, and he doesn't live up to the potential of a good NFL head coach when it comes to making poor decisions. We're talking about the two challenges, right? That pass interference challenge where the guy isn't even touched. Now, Gordon, does he break free? Does the wide receiver stick his leg out? Yes, I agree with all of that. But he is not touched. In order to be pass interference, the guy has to be touched. When you talk about defensive pass interference, if a defender is face guarding the wide receiver but not touching him, is that pass interference anymore? No, it's not pass interference. So if you're going to give that liberty to the defensive guy, you have to give some liberties to the offensive guy. They run a pick play, he's not touched. It springs Gordon for a big gain. I understand that. But at the end of the day, if you're not touched, it's not offensive pass interference. So why are you throwing that challenge flag? Samuel Harris, we trained way too many quarterbacks. This is the second year with the way we play New England. We can win the Super Bowl. Now, the longer we wait, the more we get into new contracts with our defense. I understand that. I understand how these contracts work. I know that Trey Wright's contract's coming up next year. Matt Milano's contract's going to be coming up. Alexander is going to be retiring probably at the end of this year. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to go well for Buffalo Bills, but you look at this coaching staff, you look at our recent draft history. I mean, you talk about Voshon Joseph this past year. You're talking about Matt Milano, who we picked up in the 5th round. These defensive pieces were picked up through the draft. So why can't we assume, or why can't we think that we can't do that again? Pick up solid defensive pieces in the 5th round, plug them in. We keep Trey White. We keep Tremaine Edmonds, we keep Ed Oliver, right? Those are like the big three. If we can keep those 3 guys, I think we have a good shot. And Ed Oliver and Tremaine Edmonds still have some years left before we have to make that decision, right? Tremaine Edmonds still has 3 years left after this year, and Ed Oliver will still have 4 years left after this year if the Bills option them for that 5th year, since they're both first round picks, which it looks like they will. But so we have time with those guys. So you sign Trey White. You maybe get some middle linebacker help or outside linebacker help in the 3rd, 4th round, and you might be all right. Harrison Phillips looked good this year, a 3rd round pick before he tore his ACL, so he might be with the Bills for a little bit longer too. So you just never know with the draft how things will develop. I mean, I'm not saying that Josh Allen doesn't have a clock, but I'm saying let's not say that clock is one game, because again, going into this game, everyone's talking about, Josh Allen over 60% completion percentage, much better. Obviously, the turnovers are still an issue, and they're even more so in this game. But let's give him another game or two before we just feed him to the wolves and say, oh well, we thought we could do it with you, and we can't. Again, beginning of today, I was saying that we need to really consider Josh Allen. Now it's towards the end of the day, and I'm thinking, you know what? Let's give him some more time. Let's give this kid time and see how much he grows throughout the rest of the season before we say, hey, we've seen all we need to see. We're done with you. Give him some time, okay? Not everyone's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Not everyone's going to be Andrew Luck. Some of these players take time to develop. It used to be the normal thing to take 2-3 years to develop. It used to be normal for a starting quarterback, for a 1st-round draft pick, to start on the bench behind the starter for a year and then come in and play. This isn't the norm anymore of, you come in, you start. That is the norm now, but wasn't 10, 15, 20 years ago. That wasn't the norm. So we're expecting Josh Allen to be great right away. You also have to remember when you talk about Josh Allen, and this is a point I didn't bring up, he played for Wyoming. Even Daniel Jones played in the ACC, played against a team like Clemson, played against a team like Florida State, played against a team like Miami Hurricanes. Like, he played against good defenses that have NFL talent on them. Who did Josh Allen play against? Rice University? Like, come on, give him some time to learn, develop, grow. And not only that, some of these guys, you talk about Patrick Mahomes there with Andy Reid, a genius when it comes to quarterback position. Even Jameis Winston, we're seeing what he can do this year with a good Arians, with a good quarterback coach. Who does Josh Allen have to learn from? A couple defensive mind coaches in McDermott and Frazier and Brian Dable, who is at best, right? Like, everyone's talking about Brian Dable and his bad play calling. Well, if he's not doing that great at play calling, how can we expect the guys to always make great plays? Does that make sense? Like, if in order to make great plays, you have to have good play calling. It's not like Tom Brady looks at the line of scrimmage every play and says, oh, this play is going to work, so I'm going to call this play. Nope. He has an offensive coordinator too, calling the plays. Josh McDaniels does a great job, calls the plays, and then Tom Brady just does the play. Sometimes he makes a sub, but most of the time, or makes an audible, I should say, but most of the time it's Josh McDaniels' play call that does the job. So again, if you're gonna say it works one way, you have to say it works another way, right? Brian Daboll might not be the best coach to be teaching Josh Allen how to be a good quarterback in this league, and maybe that's where we need to look first when we talk about these coaches and not necessarily Coach McDermott. Okay. Now there were some bad decisions made by Coach McDermott yesterday. Again, I talked about the two challenges, most of that pass interference challenge, which I completely disagreed with. Again, the wide receiver doesn't even touch the defender coming across the screen. And you talk about some of the timeouts. We called a timeout with like 7-8 seconds in the fourth quarter. Like, it's insane. Why would you do that? We called timeout on a fourth down when we were going to punt the ball. We've called terrible timeouts, and again, the one challenge that we lose. So we lose all three timeouts with most of the fourth quarter left to go, and we in a close game, in a 16-10 game. Those timeouts matter in a game like that. And then if you were watching the live stream yesterday with Mario and Paul, Mario harped on this, and I'm going to harp on it too. I was doing it yesterday during the game. How come you don't take 3 points? Down 16-10, Matt Barkley is going to be your quarterback. You just lost 2 yards on the previous play by running the ball Frank Gore to the right, and he gets stuffed. Why don't you take those 3 points? It baffles me. Hey, EO Crazy, how you doing? Welcome to Believers Talk again, guys. Thank you for joining me. I'm pretty sure they probably started the second half of Monday Night Football. I'm still getting through my negatives from yesterday's game because there's plenty of different narratives you can take out of this game. We can be happy because it was close, 16-10. It almost beat them again. Or we can be miserable by the way we lost. You're talking about a special teams play where they block a punt, return it for a touchdown. Things that could have happened that could have turned this game around, given Buffalo a win. This is when the Bills should have had, guys. I don't care who we played against. You look at it, we beat them in time of possession by like 5 minutes. We beat them in yards by a good bit. We tied them in penalties. There was a lot of good field position reversal by the Buffalo Bills. I thought that Andre Roberts played a great special teams game yesterday. Other than that block punt, I thought overall we played a good special teams game. Even Bajorges, I thought played a good game. Nothing he could do about that block punt. By the time he gets it off, the guy's pretty much on him. So I thought everyone on special teams did good yesterday. Other than that block punt, looked really bad. But other than that, I think we did all right on special teams. So those are but the clock management, again, no timeouts in the fourth quarter, not taking 3 points when it's 16-10 late in the fourth quarter. You just found out your starting quarterback's gone for the game. You just lost 2 yards when you run with Frank Gore. Frank Gore, who had a great game. Again, Frank Gore getting over 100 yards, getting over 15,000 rushing yards in his career. So congratulations to Frank Gore. That can't be lost in all this. Old man Frank Gore still doing it and still doing it well, right? Again, rushed over 100 yards on what was considered the number 1 overall defense coming into this game. I think right now they still do have the number 1 overall defense. Maybe Baltimore does. But I know the Bills are right there because the Bills' defense is ferocious. And when you talk about the positives from this game, it starts and ends with this defense. I don't think there is a single player on this defense that I was disappointed with yesterday. And there were some that pleasantly surprised me. Levi Wallace played so well in yesterday's game. Siran Neal, he had some mistakes, but for the most part played really well, especially on special teams. Siran Neal had two special teams plays where he pinned the Patriots inside the 10-yard line. One where they say he stepped on the goal line and we didn't have a challenge to challenge it, or maybe we would have. They say he stepped on the goal line before he knocked the ball back into play. You have to give credit to Siran Neal. So far this season, I think he's been one of those undernamed guys for the Buffalo Bills defense and special teams who's played really well this season. So tip my hat to Siran Neal in this game. So again, when you talk about the positives, game has to start and end with the defense. Now I know we didn't get any sacks on Tom Brady, but I would love to see Tom Brady's release time yesterday, right? How fast was he getting that ball out? Because some of those plays, it looked like he was getting that ball out quickly, and it looked like he was getting that ball out poorly. Did you see Tom Brady's stats yesterday? Only 150 passing yards. Are you kidding me? No touchdown. Throws an interception in the end zone. Guys, maybe one of you guys in the chat can tell me. I'm going to look it up this week to see if I can find it. When was the last time the Patriots had points on the board and Tom Brady threw an interception, right? When was the last time Tom Brady had the ball inside the 10-yard line heading into the end zone and throws a pick? I don't think it happens that often. We saw last Thursday in Thursday Night Football against Packers-Eagles. Rodgers did it for the first time in his career. I'm guessing that Tom Brady really doesn't do it all that often. So I would love to know the last time that happened, but it really was a game changer at that time. You're talking about a game that's already 13-0 in the first half. If Tom Brady gets the team into the end zone there, it's a 3-score game. Even a field goal makes it 16-0, makes it two touchdowns, two-point conversions, makes it a little harder. But what a great play by Poyer, getting back there, reading Tom Brady's eyes and making that great interception to keep the Bills in this game when it looked like in the first half it was not going well. And that was the start of Josh Allen's hot streak we talked about earlier, where he went 9 for 11 for 106 yards, leading led us into scoring range 3 times. We capitalized on 2 of those 3 times to make the game a lot closer than it was at that point. I think a pass protection cost us this game. There were some sacks in this game, so New England had 5 sacks in this game. So let's talk about that for a second. 2 of those sacks are definitely on Josh Allen. We talked about that sack at the end of the half before the field goal that was missed by Steven Hauschka. If you watch that sack, Allen has time. Allen has time against a pretty good front four of the New England Patriots. I can't blame the offensive line for all of this. I thought Ty Nsekhe for just coming, not Ty Nsekhe, I'm sorry, Kyle Peko for just coming on this team did a pretty stand-up job overall. Now, he does miss a huge block on Van Noy to end the game. That's when Van Noy hits Barkley in the elbow, and the ball was popped up in the air for a fair catch interception for the New England Patriots to end this game. But I thought for just being brought up from the practice squad the other day, I thought he did a pretty good job. So, the offensive line obviously still needs work, right? And whether that be trying to get in unison with everybody else due to the fact they're all new, or whether that be just need more talent on the offensive line, or maybe we need to stick with Ty Nsekhe and move Cody Ford somewhere. John Feliciano, maybe he needs to see more time. Glad that he was in this game yesterday and he looked pretty good. But maybe there's a lot of things that need to be considered. But this offensive line does need a little bit of patchwork still. Obviously, a lot better. Right now our offense is 9th overall in the league, guys. That's much better than last year when we were 31st. If you had told me after 4 weeks we have the 9th ranked offense, I would have been good with that. And we have the 4th ranked defense, one of the better teams in football. And it shows we still have the 3rd best record in the AFC behind the Chiefs and the Patriots, both teams who had tough wins yesterday. So we're still looking pretty good as far as standings go, as far as any playoff potential possibilities. And again, if we go each quarter, we go 3-1, 12-4, we're definitely making the playoffs at 12-4, maybe still fighting for that division crown against the New England Patriots. So we'll see what happens. But right now, 3-1 is not a bad place to be. Again, you want to talk about someone that's good? I thought Trey White had a much better game than he has the past couple weeks. I thought he played really well in this one. Again, we didn't get any sacks on Tom Brady, but I feel like the defensive line still did a good job getting in there, forcing some things. Didn't allow for too much of a run game, which was a concern, right? First play of the game is about 15-yard run play with Sony Michel, and you're like, oh no, this is going to be like that Monday Night Football game where we allowed over 200 rushing yards, and New England's just going to be us on the ground. But Sony Michel ends up with only 67 rushing yards, I believe on 17 carries, so not too bad by this Buffalo Bills defense. And again, the linebackers, Tremaine Edmonds had another good game. Milano sticking with the running backs a few times. He did allow that catch to Sony Michel on the first drive, I believe it was, that led to New England's first touchdown. Only offensive touchdown in this one for the New England Patriots, but he was still there. He still had decent coverage on Michel, just didn't turn around in time to see the ball. Michel's able to get it. Nice pass by Brady, puts it right there for Sony Michel to hang on to set him up first and goal, and then they score on the next play. So good job there by Milano. I thought just unfortunately doesn't get his head turned around and lets a pass that maybe could have been deflected get away. Now, I know some people thought Tremaine Edmonds could have had an interception on the last last drive by the Patriots where he jumps up, deflects it, goes off his left hand. Maybe he could have, but you can't really blame him for getting up there and deflecting a ball. Milano, last play of the last drive for the Patriots, other than the kneel downs, he has it come off his chest, but he's looking behind him when that happens. I think he did a good job again there on defense. I'm not going to blame him for not coming out with that catch. That's why he plays defense and he's not on the offensive side of the ball. So just some things there. But overall, our defense, you can't complain. Again, Tom Brady, only 150 yards. I think this team had 237 total yards of offense, something like that for New England. Knocks them down a peg a little bit in the offensive standings. I think they're at the 13th or 14th overall offense in the NFL now, going into this game in the top 10. Our defense moves up. And again, it showed on the field. I think we definitely let one get our way. So that's what makes this one hard, right? You let it slip away. You had this team on the ropes. You should have beat them at home. But you just can't get the job done. And we could blame Allen for those 3 interceptions. Again, none of those 3 interceptions were pretty passes. I said in the beginning, I feel like other players could have done more to help out. But they still were not pretty passes. Other things need to be done. There were long balls that were missed. Zay Jones was open long in this game, and he was just missed. He was overthrown by Josh Allen. Josh Allen's still missing hitting that deep ball that he used to hit last season. Maybe we need Robert Foster back. Maybe there's someone that we need to get in there who can chase down those long balls. But right now, he's just missing them. I had one with John Brown. I had one with Zay Jones. We just need to make sure those get more on target, especially against teams like the Patriots stature where we need big plays. I want to talk about we need Josh Allen to step up, make a big play or two in this one. Unfortunately, Josh Allen goes down. I didn't even talk about that yet. Josh Allen gets hurt in this game. And again, hopefully he's back for the Tennessee game. Some people are saying it was, an illegal hit that he should be suspended for. The difference between that hit and Burfict is honestly, it's not Burfict. Burfict's been a nasty player for a few years now, so the NFL's obviously going to have a target on this guy's head. The New England Patriots player hasn't been as dirty, so we're gonna, he's gonna get fined for that hit. And some people are saying Allen ducked into that hit, and if you look at the replay, it's close. But it should have been flagged. It was. Unfortunately, we get a holding call, which I don't know if I agreed with the holding call. But unfortunately, they offset. Maybe those plays should not offset to begin with. But that's another discussion for another time. But at this point, they do. We talk about the intentional grounding that was missed by Tom Brady, and talk about 15 yards. That's a big deal. On their second to last drive where he throws it, doesn't even get beyond the line of scrimmage. So it should be intentional ground just for that alone. And there's no one in the area. So definitely, again, if you watch Mario and Paul, they flipped out about it yesterday during the live stream as well. Just definitely should have been intentional ground there. Backs up New England 15 more yards, and then they punt to us. We get the ball closer to midfield. Maybe Andre Roberts even gets a better return at that point. Who knows what happens? Gets us into field goal range. Again, the whole game's different at that point. So a couple big mistakes by the officials in this game. Again, we talked about the interception that should not have been. We talked about the intentional grounding. Certain things that this officiating crew did that just didn't make Bills fans happy at the end of the day. Felt like that the officials again were against us, going with New England. And it seems that way. It seems like New England either gets the lucky bounces, gets the good juju, and we don't understand why, because we know that they've been known to cheat a time or two. And speaking of the cheating, we have to go back to the pregame where Coach McDermott comes out and finds Bill Belichick's son and another assistant coach watching the Bills warm up during their warm-ups where they're supposed to be on the field and New England's supposed to be back in the locker room. We see video of McDermott coming out, having a confrontation with the two coaches before they all go back into the locker room. So I would love to have been a fly in New Era Field when that conversation was going on to see what Coach McDermott said to them about that. Again, would love to have heard that. Obviously, the coaches got the message and they left too. So something needs to be done about that. If that is not allowed, if it's not, I have no idea if there's NFL rules against it or not. But if that's not allowed, that's something the NFL has to look into moving forward. Again, the New England Patriots assistant coaches on their sideline while the Buffalo Bills are warming up when it's their time to be on the field. So we'll see what happens. See if the league has anything to say about that here in the near future. But right now I'm not hearing anything, so there must not be anything too wrong with it. You would think that Coach McDermott would send it to the league if he thought it was a real issue that the league needed to look into. So that is my post-game wrap-up of this game. Again, a tough pill to swallow, right? If you watch any of the post-game from Rico to Hashtag Sports yesterday, obviously a lot of disappointment. Blindside Sports yesterday did one as well. A lot of disappointment around the fan base, because we know we let one slip away, right? We know we let one slip away. There's no reason why we shouldn't be 4-0 right now, and the Patriots should be 3-1 looking at us. And it just stinks knowing it's the Patriots, right? The ones who seem to get away with this kind of stuff all the time. They seem to get those lucky breaks when they need them the most. And that's why they're 6-time Super Bowl champions, and we just hope that soon, maybe as soon as week 16, we can beat them and take that AFC title crown from them, and maybe even get a home playoff game here in Buffalo. That'd be great to see. So 3-1, not a bad place to be after 4 weeks. I think we're going to do just fine, guys. I appreciate you guys for joining me again. Pretty positive. Halftime's over, unless something happened to the field where it wasn't playable conditions. But you're talking about 2-0-3 teams. Looks like the Steelers are now running away with it, up 24-3 there. So glad you're not missing much in that game between 2-0-3 teams. Again, the Buffalo Bills fall to 3-1, but not too many people has going 3-1 at this point either. So we get ready for Tennessee now, right? That's one thing. It was funny this morning. I was trying to think of how, and I even tweeted about it. I was like, I have no idea how this post game is going to go, because part of the post game is getting over the win or loss, either celebrating the win or getting over the loss, and then tomorrow morning practice starts, we get ready for the game the following week, in this case Tennessee. And I was like, man, this is just going to be a tough one to get over. And we hope that that's not how the Bills players feel right now. We hope that's not how the Bills coaching staff feels right now. We hope that they're moving on, right? Everything they said in the pregame, in the week leading up to this game against New England, that's what we hope they feel like right now. We hope that they took this one game at a time, and although this is a tough loss, we have to get ready for Tennessee. We have to hope to beat Tennessee. Again, if we beat Tennessee, we're still 4-1 heading into our bye week, which is exactly where I had them in my preseason prediction, where I have the Bills finishing 11-5. So if the Bills win this one 4-1, a great place to be. Again, look at the AFC standings overall. We're the only 3-1 team right now in the AFC. So it looks like things might be lining up. I know it's early, and it can only get better from here, but we'll see what happens. Again, the Buffalo Bills lose 16-10, fall to 3-1 to the New England Patriots. Just not that far away, but not close enough, as we lose a close one, a heartbreaker. But that just is one game. Still have playing games to go. Still 12 games to go in the season. Maybe we surprise the world and beat the Patriots in Gillette Stadium week 16. Would love to see that. But again, guys, I will be with you this Sunday, giving you live play-by-play reaction. We'll be here Thursday during halftime of Thursday Night Football to give you my breakdown of the game between Tennessee Titans. At that time, we'll know more about Josh Allen, whether he's ready to come back. We'll know more about King Cam. Welcome, coming at the end, but always good to have you on the show, man. At the end of this, you can go back to the beginning. Did some analyzing of Josh Allen, Zay Jones, talked about the clock management issues, the coaching issues that I saw from yesterday's game, the official issues from yesterday's game, talked about this lights out defense, so make sure you check it out. But always good to have you on the stream, man. Hope that you can join me this Thursday as we break down the game between the Titans and Bills. Again, we'll know more about Josh Allen's condition at the time, maybe know more about Robert Foster, Isaiah McKenzie, some of the guys that were on the inactive list this past Sunday, know more about them. Devin Singletary, that's another good one that we need to hope is feeling better by this Sunday. Might add a little spark to that run game. Have old man Frank Gore run for 100 yards. Have Singletary run for 100 yards. That Matt Barkley won't have to do too much if he's in the game against the Tennessee Titans. But we hope it doesn't come down to that. We hope that Josh Allen feels up to, gets out of concussion protocol, feels pretty good leading into it. Maybe learns how to slide. Maybe this will teach you that, hey, you can't always take big hits from big NFL defenders like you could at Wyoming. We'll see what happens, but I will be here covering all of 2019 Buffalo Bills. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, guys, hit that subscribe button. We go live every Monday. We go live every Thursday. We'll go live when we get injury report news. We also do a pick'em every Wednesday. We have a video for that. So you want to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We have you covered throughout the week. So again, I look forward to talking to you all soon. Look forward to talking about the Buffalo Bills. Look forward to breaking down the game against the Tennessee Titans. We'll do it all soon. Until I do, go Bills.